Now to more breaking news, this time in Hollywood. NBC4 Investigates is learning about a gruesome discovery in a tow yard. Gordon Takumatsu is live at the scene with what was found and what investigators are revealing so far. Gordon.
Well, Annabelle, the building you see behind me is the headquarters of a company called Hollywood Tow. Take a look. Right up there on the rooftop is where some cars are parked, and that is where the investigation is happening right now. News Chopper 4 over the lot a short time ago to show us what is going on. Clearly visible, a tent where detectives are gathering and cataloging evidence, and close by a gray Tesla with Texas license plates with its front hood open. If you know about Teslas, the hood is the larger storage compartment in the front of the vehicle. A dark colored bag can be seen inside. We believe this to be the car in question. LAPD homicide detectives telling us the car was impounded from an undisclosed location in Hollywood after someone reported it abandoned. It was towed here to the impound lot where workers noticed a bad odor and called police to investigate.
Well, we were notified this morning, and the car's been here for a couple of days. After investigators made entry to the car, they found what appears to be the remains of a human being.
At this point, this is officially being called a death investigation, not a homicide, but that could change. Captain Peters there says there are other possible reasons that have to be investigated before it can be determined if the person was actually murdered or not, but he did not elaborate. He also would not release details on the person's identity, including gender or age, or the neighborhood where the car was abandoned. At this point, we are waiting for the coroner's office to send a van here so that crime scene investigators can wrap up their investigation here as well. Reporting live from Hollywood, Gordon Takumatsu, NBC4 News.
That was in September, but now we're way in April.
We have some breaking news right now in a case that NBC4 Investigates has been following for the past 7 months. Indie singer David has just been arrested in connection with the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas.
NBC4 first broke this story back in September when the teen's decomposed body was found in the front truck of a Tesla registered to David. The car had been impounded at a tow yard in L.A. after someone reported it abandoned there in the Hollywood Hills. NBC4's Eric Litta joins us live from the newsroom. Eric.
Hi, Michael and Colleen. Yeah, this is something that the police department and the L.A. County District Attorney's Office have been working on for months, trying to put together what they believe was a compelling case and enough evidence to prove that they believe David, known as legally as David Burke, is responsible for Celeste Rivas's murder. According to the Los Angeles Police Department and our contacts there, detectives from the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division arrested David, 21 years old, here in California today. He's expected to be held with no bail and make an initial appearance in court on Monday morning on that murder charge. As we've been reporting for the last several months, it was Celeste Rivas's remains that were found in 2 bags inside the front trunk of the Tesla that was registered to him. And you'll remember last September, that Tesla was impounded from a street in the Hollywood Hills, fairly close to a rental home where David Burke, David, had been living while he was in Southern California. Rivas, we're told, disappeared sometime probably a year prior to the discovery of her remains in the Tesla. That car had been parked on that side street for weeks before it was impounded and her remains were discovered. The LAPD told us, and we also learned from some court filings, that they suspect Celeste Rivas died sometime in the spring of 2025, but again wasn't discovered until September of 2025. She was likely 14 years old at the time of her death. She would have turned 15 years old the day after, we believe, the day after her body was discovered. So the LAPD detectives were looking to discover the evidence that would put all of this together. The biggest stumbling block from what we have reported on over the last few months is that it was difficult to determine her cause of death because, without being too grisly here, her remains had decomposed significantly in the months between the time she likely died and the time of the discovery. We'll continue to follow all of the developments this afternoon, but again, David in custody with the LAPD, and we expect to learn more about the criminal charges shortly. Back to you guys.
Eric, there had been an indication there might be an accomplice or a number of accomplices. Do we know anything about that yet?
Right. We heard from some of our contacts that were connected with this case that there was a suspicion that because of the way things had happened and the things that were discovered right after the discovery of her remains, that The detectives believed somebody else probably assisted. As far as we know, the only arrest today is the singer himself, but certainly remains a possibility that others could be implicated.
All right, Eric Leonard live at our newsroom. Of course, more to come on this.
You got it.
Hit that QR code or tap that link in the description. That's free cash to Seti Nash. They say, you know what, man? You're right. 5 ain't enough. They going 10 in your account as soon as you put that app in your phone. Listen, all you got to do is start playing games and you'll start to see the gains. That's free cash, Seti Nash. Put that app on your phone today and play to win. I'll catch y'all there. Let's get on with the content. Yeah, it's all over, man. It's all over. It's done with for now. Now, here's what we don't know, and this is the main thing. First off, shout out to Trap Lord Ross because he's really been one that's been keeping up all of this stuff. So I suggest y'all head over there when he drops his video because I know it's going to be more detailed and he'll have a lot more stuff to say than we will because I'm going to be fair. A lot of y'all tapped out of this story over here on this channel. And the reason y'all did was simple. Y'all wanted an arrest. So I completely understand the reasoning why. But here's the beauty of it all. He's going to be found guilty. See, what they did was a mock trial with real jurors and all of this stuff and everything. And it does, I hate to say it this way, it does slightly poison the jury pool a little bit. But this involves a 14-year-old little girl who they said, bruh, she actually died in spring. She died in the freaking spring. So y'all kept a dead, frozen body for that long, chopped up and put in pieces and all of this stuff. And she was sitting there like some goddamn ground beef. And I'm not trying to be as descriptive as that is, but it just is what it is. The story behind Celeste dying is insane. The only way that David basically gets out of this is if he gets on the stand and he tells the truth and suffer the consequences of basically being a registered PDF, doing some time in prison and all of this stuff. He's going to be somebody's girlfriend, guaranteed. Yeah, he going to PC it up and check into them other pods and all that stuff. He going to have to run with the sisters in there because there is no way on God's green that he is going to be able, with his small frame, his notoriety, and all of this shit. He ain't tough. He ain't no gangbang. He ain't no gang member. He ain't connected to shit. And I doubt anybody gonna run with him. Now, could he pay his way? Hell if I know. But from how all the prison stories and all this crap go, bruh, he ain't gonna be able to do nothing. And I'm curious now more than ever as to what's his additional charges. Obviously, they're going to say something to the effect of, well, the day that it was moved, he more than likely was in Oregon or he was further south in LA. Like he was somewhere further south, like damn near in San Diego, right? So he wouldn't have been able to do that. What we suspect is that he made a call. That call was to move the body somewhere or something like that. I don't even know. But remember when the manager had said something to the effect of, man, she was really pressing me. And then the best friend, they try to call him his boyfriend and all that. I don't know. I really don't give a shit about that part. Where they basically try to say, oh, yeah, hey, bruh, screw him. I'm tired of holding in the secrets. I'm tired of this shit. So now the person who knows you better than a lot of other people, he's turning against you. And we're sitting here going, what's going on? Now we know nothing, but we will know it all. The curious question is this: who else is going down? Remember, they said the brother has something to do with this. Then they said the dude has something to do with this. We actually don't know how many people actually were involved with this. But the Steve dude who was on Law and Crime, he gonna pop up and he gonna tell what he gonna tell, but he's actually gonna be a witness. It's gonna show how bad the freaking police did their job, how bad the detectives did their job initially, that he was able to go in there and basically pull up a whole bunch of shit that the police didn't even care to bother with, which means they didn't give a shit about Celeste, which means this is the public. This is the internet. This is public scrutiny that got justice for this little girl, which is a damn shame. So we'll see exactly what happened, when it happened, and all this shit, man. And hopefully dude fried for the rest of his life. I don't give a shit, bro. I don't care that even if she OD'd and they panicked and they basically got rid of her body. I don't give a shit. You shouldn't have been messing with no 14-year-old little girl. She's like 13 when he was messing with her. I don't give a damn that her parents approved of it. None of that shit. It still was wrong. Y'all can have women that look like Ariana Grande if that's your thing. Y'all can have younger looking women if that's your thing. It just gotta be legal, bruh. So, hell no. Terrible. But y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Do you think he's getting life? Or do y'all think it's the additional charges that they're gonna hit him with that's actually gonna throw him to the wolves? Subscribe to our Bell to Notify, share to keep your people aware. We are 16K away from these 2 things giveaways, so make sure you comment, like, and subscribe today. I will catch y'all in the next one. Click right here, though, to see how Adrian Browner has screwed over his life completely. Or click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one. We're going to drop a Vlad video. Vlad said I could react to this one.